Chapter 1. Thunderstorm Dragon Shadow. Fang You, it's going to rain soon. Are we still going to the cafeteria to check out the legs? A familiar voice drifted in and out, waking Fang You up. Struggling to open his eyes, he was greeted by a scene that only appeared in dreams. The familiar yellow mosquito net, the creaking old fan, and the smell of moldy socks. Fang Yu's eyes widened in disbelief as he sat up abruptly, scanning everything in the dormitory. He was horrified. What is going on? Didn't I die? How am I back in my university dorm? Looking down at the impatiently fidgeting figure, Fang Yu felt a lump in his throat, tears welling up in his eyes. Jiao, Fang Yu's college roommate, had once witnessed the dragon shadow with Fang Yu during the early days of spiritual energy's arrival, gaining the dragon heart mark and becoming one of the first cultivators. However, he died 5 years later in the Changbai Mountain defense battle while saving Fang Yu. In the 15 years that followed, one spiritual gate after another was opened, and humanity ultimately could not withstand the onslaught of demon beasts. Fang Yu also perished while fighting to protect the city by the Bohai Sea. Suddenly, the sound of heavy rain brought Fang Yu back to reality. This moment, he finally realized he had been reborn 20 years into the past. Well, looks like we'll have to order takeout now. Didn't we agree to check out the legs at the cafeteria tonight? Jiao raised his head, looking deflated as he pushed up his glasses. But Jiao was taken aback by Fang Yu, who was grinning like a flower, and even the way Fang Yu looked at him felt strange. Jiao couldn't help but shiver, recalling a classic saying from the internet. This place in Chuan has some explanation. Suddenly, a blinding white light streaked across the sky, illuminating the entire dormitory. Boom! Then came the rumble of thunder. Ignoring Jiao's complaints, Fang Yu swiftly jumped out of bed and dashed to the balcony. What are you waiting for? Come see something amazing. Jiao, looking at his seemingly manic roommate, felt a surge of frustration. At this time, they should be at the cafeteria, checking out the long legs of the school sisters staying for May Day. But now, they could only watch the thunder with Fang Yu. Reluctantly, Jiao walked to the balcony and stood next to Fang Yu, his chubby face being pelted by the cold rain. What's so great about the rain? Fang Yu stared intently at the dark clouds filling the sky and smiled. Remember that popular video from 2 days ago? Someone in Chang'an filmed 4 dragon shadows. Jiao stared blankly at the clouds, rolling his eyes. I know, the 12 zodiac animals: rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, plastic greenhouse, snake, horse. Fang Yu turned his face, eyes filled with a hint of mystery and determination. Fatty, don't be so sure. Now that the rain has reached us in Chuandu, we might just see it too. At that moment, a slender figure appeared in the clouds like a snake and quickly darted around. The whole process lasted only 2 seconds before it disappeared into deeper clouds. What the hell? Fang Yu, there's really something in the clouds. Jiao suddenly shouted, having caught sight of the scene, immediately pointing at the distant clouds. Fang Yu didn't waste time and focused his gaze on the dark clouds. He knew that the dragon shadow would appear for 10 minutes. As long as they could see it, they would gain the dragon heart mark. Jiao hurriedly took out his phone, zooming the camera to the maximum, trying to capture the mysterious figure in the clouds. Sure enough, moments later, the dragon shadow reappeared. It flew up and down in the clouds, although it was far away. One could still see the vague outline of 4 limbs. Its form flickered in and out of visibility, sometimes disappearing and then reappearing on the other side of the clouds. This entire process lasted several minutes. By this point, Jiao's face had turned pale after all. He had only seen it vaguely in the video before. It was only by observing with his own eyes that he could feel the heart-stirring spectacle. This is definitely not some plastic greenhouse or a kite. What the hell is this? Jiao mumbled to his phone. Zzz. A rare purple lightning streaked across the sky, blooming like a purple flower in the clouds, completely engulfing the dragon shadow. The rain poured even harder, mixed with tiny ice particles. A hit's over, fatty. Fang Yu spoke slowly. Jiao then realized that there was no longer any dragon shadow in the clouds. He dreamily put down his phone, then quickly jolted back to reality and began flipping through his album. Unfortunately, the video was as unclear as the previous popular video from Chang'an. Trash phone? They'll definitely have it recycled one day, recycling money from Zhuang. Fang Yu, no matter what, this video will definitely go viral on Douyin. Jiao excitedly grabbed Fang Yu's AR-M this moment. However, Fang Yu's expression was extremely serious, even carrying a hint of sorrow. Fang Yu knew that the appearance of the dragon's shadow was just the beginning, or rather, the beginning of a failure. Because the dragon in that cloud was undergoing tribulation. The widely circulated saying that 3 dragons sheltered a small dragon during its tribulation was actually misleading. That it was those 3 smaller dragons that were guarding the elder dragon during its tribulation. Fang Yu silently thought, if it fails the tribulation, then there will be no divine dragon protection for our Huaxiao land. When the spiritual gates are opened, we can only rely on ourselves to fight against those legendary existences. Suddenly, a pleasant female voice echoed in Fang Yu's mind. Host activated the Divine Dragon System. Initial activation rewards the Dragon Heart Mark. Fang Yu was taken aback. He had crossed over and been reborn, and he even had a system. However, the initial reward of this system was too pathetic. The Dragon Heart Mark could be obtained just by seeing that dragon shadow earlier. Did he really need your reward? It was like scoring a perfect 100 on an exam and then receiving an extra 50 points. Host attributes are as follows. Name, Fang Yu. Race, human. Level, mortal. Characteristics, Dragon Heart Mark true, not yet activated, needs to witness the Divine Dragon. Again, upon hearing this, Fang Yu reluctantly accepted it. After all, the addition of the word true should indicate an official product, which would definitely be stronger than those Dragon Heart Marks obtained by merely seeing the dragon shadow. Host triggered a mission. Within 3 days, witness the Divine Dragon up close again to fully activate the Dragon Heart Mark True. If the mission fails, the Dragon Heart Mark True will downgrade to a regular Dragon Heart Mark. Fang Yu took a deep breath. He didn't need the system to tell him that he also wanted to see that dragon shadow again. According to his memories from his previous life, the elder dragon did not die on the spot after failing its tribulation. Instead, it fell to the ground, and because of this, a terrifying existence was born in the Qinling Mountains, known as one of the top 10 strongest in the world, the White Tiger Mountain Lord. If I can save this elder dragon, perhaps there will be hope for the future. Fang Yu immediately made up his mind. He decided to head out right away, making sure to arrive at the scene before that white tiger and the mysterious organization of Huaxia. In 10 days, the first spiritual gate would be opened. A terrible disaster was about to sweep the world. At that time, people would realize that this world was not as simple as they imagined. Chapter 2. Little Yang Mountain. In the dormitory, Fang Yu hurriedly changed into long sleeves and long pants, putting on his sports shoes as the dragon falling location was on a mountain. This was intelligence he had accidentally obtained before participating in that last battle in his previous life. That time, an elder standing at the pinnacle of power in Huaxia murmured while raising a glass. If only the organization could find number 002 on Little Liang Mountain in Chuan. Due before that beast, perhaps everything could be changed. Little Liang Mountain, wait for me. Fang Yu felt an unwavering determination in his heart. At this moment, Hebo, sitting in front of the computer, was full of excitement, laughing loudly. Fang Yu, the video likes have already surpassed 5,000, and I have school sisters messaging me. We're going to be famous. Look at these comments, talking about the dragon falling in Inko, the Huaxi cave dragon, the black dragon of Qinjiao in North China, and even saying Qinghu dragon sucks. Water, do you really think there are dragons in this world? As he spoke, Hebo turned his head to look at Fang Yu, who was already dressed, puzzled about where his good brother was going, since it was still raining outside. Fang Yu grabbed an umbrella and smiled at Hebo. Didn't you just see the dragon fly in the sky? Besides, what you mentioned isn't a real dragon, just a dragon species. The one from Inko barely counts, but it's already been swapped out. Hebo frowned, thinking to himself that his brother was pretending to understand. He then decided to show off a bit. I know this. The older generation says that the dragon has a fishy smell all over, while a real dragon has a kind of fragrant scent. There should be thousands of dragon species in Huaxia, all numbered. Among them, there are a dozen real dragons that must be carefully identified. The fishy one is the dragon species, the fragrant one is the real dragon, the spicy one is the Wei Long, and the sweet one is the milk dragon. But the most thrilling is still one dragon. Fang Yu stopped joking with his brother and directly said he'd be back later. Hebo looked at Fang Yu's hurried figure and anxiously said, remember to bring me a Wei Long when you come back. Fang Yu exited the school gate, already drenched by the rain, but he didn't mind at all. He hailed a taxi and got in, directly stating the destination. Wow, going to Shaoyangshan? That road isn't easy to navigate, the driver thought to himself, feeling pleased. Originally, this trip was quite far, and with a thunderstorm, he could make a good profit off this young man. Without saying a word, Fang You scanned his payment, paying 1,000 yuan. Money is nothing after 10 days, but it can still be used to push and pull now. The driver instantly brightened up and stepped on the gas. This young man is generous. Let's go. On a rainy night, on an elevated highway, in a taxi. Driver, please drive faster. Fang You slightly raised his head, seeing his somewhat pale face in the rearview mirror. It was a face that could be considered handsome, filled with youthful energy, but lacking some wear and familiar scars, making Fang You feel a bit strange. The driver laughed. Why the hurry? Are you going to Lingshan for a date with your girlfriend? By the way, if you want someone to accompany you up the mountain, I have some resources. Fang You couldn't help but smile wryly and pulled out his phone again, scanning to pay the remaining 1,000 yuan. I have to say, this feeling of being a rich man is quite enjoyable. Even in his past life, Fang You never spent money like this. Once the payment went through, Fang You felt a push back in his seat. The taxi almost sped out of Nibelungen. 2 hours later, the taxi stopped on the rural road at the foot of Lingshan. There were no major roads ahead, only a winding stone path leading upwards. It was hardly raining at Lingshan. Under the dim orange streetlight, the driver opened the window, looking at the dark mountain, and took a deep breath. The air in the mountains is fresh. It even has a hint of sweetness. Young man, this is as far as I can go. Fang You checked the time. It was already past 9. He wasn't sure if he would make it in time. Looking around, the mountain wasn't closed yet, indicating the authorities hadn't arrived. Fang You didn't waste any time, opened the car door, and ran directly towards the stone path. The driver watched Fang Yu's figure disappear into the night, smirking. He's quite in a hurry. Nowadays, young people have enough fun. Going up the mountain for a date at night sounds thrilling that I made quite a bit today. I'll also book a mountain companion tomorrow to exercise a bit. Meanwhile, Fang Yu turned on his phone flashlight, climbing the stone steps at a steady pace. Although Lingshan wasn't big, it still took about 6 hours to go up and down. So, Fang Yu had to conserve his strength after all. He didn't possess the robust stamina he had in his past life. There really is a strange fragrance on the mountain. It seems this is indeed the place where dragons fall. It's a pity my dragon heart mark hasn't awakened yet. Otherwise, just inhaling dragon energy would strengthen my bones and lay the foundation for the revival of spiritual energy that I should have invited Fatty along his dragon heart mark. Should be able to. But thinking about Hebo gasping for breath after just a few steps in outdoor activities, Fang Yu instantly felt it was right not to bring that dead weight. The surroundings were pitch black, and Fang Yu used the weak light from his phone to observe the area as he climbed. Suddenly, Fang Yu noticed a light ahead at the bend. A vague figure had just turned the corner. His heart tightened. Are there other people on Lingshan? Are they advanced personnel from the authorities? Thinking this, Fang Yu quickly turned off his phone light and slowed down as he reached the bend. A bright light suddenly illuminated from 3 meters ahead, shining straight at him. Not good, I've been spotted. Fang Yu immediately reacted and prepared to turn back and run. However, a cold voice called out to him directly. Fang Yu? What are you doing here? Fang Yu was taken aback and slowly turned around. This time, he clearly saw the person through the side light of their flashlight. It was a tall figure wearing a black jacket, long hair flowing like a waterfall, and delicate features that could rival any internet celebrity or star. Any man who glanced at her would inevitably steal another look. It was none other than his classmate, the aloof campus beauty of Chengdu University Su Li. Though she didn't engage in online activities, she quickly gained fame from just a candid shot. Additionally, this popular goddess was one of the top 10 human powerhouses in the future, and she was also the younger sister of Suja, known as the strongest human in the world. Codename Dragon King. These siblings were referred to as the light of humanity in the apocalypse. Unfortunately, despite Suja bearing the title of the strongest human, he ranked last among the top 10 of his time. Both siblings died in the Kunlun Mountain War 20 years later, saving millions of lives. It must be said that Fang Yu was able to join the official organization later because of this old classmate's assistance. However, the two had no interaction since the revival of spiritual energy, only seeing each other on the battlefield occasionally, as their status and position were quite different. A multitude of thoughts flashed through Fang Yu's mind. What was Su Li doing here? Could her rise be connected to this dragon fall?